In this video, we take a look at what a trial balance is. So here's an example of a trial balance. We see the accounts, the debit balances, the credit balances, and I'm defining this trial balance as a report that shows the ending balances in a general ledger. The general ledger is the complete detail of every transaction that occurs in a business. So when we get to the end of a period, such as a year, then cash will have a certain balance. Each account will have a certain balance. That's the result of all those transactions in the general ledger. So when we break down the trial balance, I'm going to do this piece by piece. We start with the accounts. So every business will have a list of all the balance sheet and income statement accounts. Next, we're going to see a debit column. So we've got the accounts, and now we have a debit column, and then what would you expect to see next? Yes, debits always equal credits. So we're going to add a credit column. Now the next thing that we're going to do in completing the trial balance is add the debit balances for those accounts that have a debit balance. So normally asset accounts like cash or receivables or inventory, those normally have debit balances. And then expenses like payroll expenses, supplies, rent, they normally have a debit balance. Next, let's add the credit balances. So accounts like accounts payable, notes payable, your equity accounts like common stock, your revenue accounts like sales, those have credit balances. And the next thing I want you to see is this trial balance is comprised of assets. So here's some example assets, liabilities, like accounts payable, you owe your vendor so much money. Notes payable, you owe your bank so much money. Next, we have common stock. So the owners, they buy the common stock, they own the company. That's an example of equity. Next, we have a revenue account, sales. Now you could have 50, 60 sales accounts. In this example, there's just one. And next we have expenses. And again, this is a simplified version of a trial balance. So I'm only showing 3 expense accounts here. You might have 100 expense accounts. Now, the other thing I want you to see in a trial balance that is proper, you're going to add all of the debit balances and you'll have a total of all the debits. This total has to agree to this total. So we add the debit balances, we get a total. We add the credit balances, we get a total. These two numbers must agree. If they don't agree, there's a problem somewhere and you have to go chase that down. So now you know what a trial balance is, and you can create one yourself or your company.